Hey everybody, it's Kelly here at Don't Run with Scissors, your favorite Jeep driving mom of twins lawyer who has two crazy rescue dogs and likes to craft. And I don't think I ever say it the same way twice, but apparently it sticks and people know it, and that's just me. So we'll keep saying it. We'll keep saying it. Um, it's all good. So it's Monday here. Monday the 9th of August already. What? Like this last week, it was busy, 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 and a little chaotic, but it was actually a really good week too. Um, so my son and I love my son. Let's just start this off here right now. And I think every parent or person who has been around kids for a while can identify with what I'm going to say. I love my children. I'm glad that I'm very close to my kids. I'm glad that we have very open conversations, although some of them are very bizarre, or ones that are like, that kind of thing. My kids make me laugh. Generally, I make them laugh. We do all kinds of funny things. We'll dance we dance at the grocery store together sometimes, just because, in the aisleway. Maybe it's that groovy music on the intercom. So my son and I have the same learning disabilities. Go figure. Um, I think his may be a little bit worse, or that sounds bad. Maybe they affect him more. I don't know. So him and I butt heads a lot, and it's very frustrating as a mom. And there have been nights where it's reduced me to tears, and I've just had to walk away. And then I feel like I'm failing him. That's all I think every parent does at that point. Well, this last week, my son is getting ready to start classes again and registering and doing all of that stuff, and we had to talk about his schedule versus, what are your career goals? It's all well and good to go to college, but what is your degree going to help you then achieve? Because, I'm at an age where, and I have enough degrees, as anybody with a JD could probably say, but I was very fortunate. I worked my way through college. In undergrad, I worked full-time. I actually worked full-time plus, and took full loads year-round. I took summer classes, everything, and that is why I was able to graduate in more than 4 years. It did take me more than 4 years. I ended up switching schools, but I had a double major and a double minor. And had I stuck around for another semester or two, I, would have had a science degree too, on top of everything. I would have finished my pre-med, because I was like 2 classes short. And then I went to law school, and again, I even took similar classes during law school. And I've gone back and forth. I've taken some classes here and there at the community college. Usually when I taught, that was a great perk, and I don't want to lose those kind of things. So I took advantage of them, and so I consider myself very fortunate in that respect. Now, do I have a lot of student loans from law school? Yes. If the government, I'm not asking them to wipe out my student loan debt. I took out that money. I think that's fair and square. What I would like to see the government do is to eradicate student loan interest and give those of us who have been paying interest for 20 some years credit on what we actually took out, kind of. I'm losing the word. Okay, anyways, I'm totally getting distracted again. ADHD. So my son came to me, and we had a really, really good talk this last week, and mapped out some things and some things that would help him, and he let me help him. And it wasn't like I did it for him, because that's very easy for me to do. Is just step in, take care of it, be done with it. Um, I taught him how to. I said, let's make our list. Write out your list. Here's 5 things you need to get done. It was Thursday night. I go, you have to get them done tomorrow because otherwise you're going to have to wait till Monday. And he woke up and he knocked them right out. And it was awesome to watch him problem solve because when he's on it, he's actually really, really good advocate for himself and his disabilities. And he's really good at working with people to figure out how to problem solve it, or like, okay, how do we do this, because I know it's possible, so how do we work through it? And he's very polite about it, and it's honestly a joy to watch him and watch his brain engage and do it. And so he did that, and I was just so proud. And it was one of those things. So we actually, it looks like the boy child and I are going to be taking a class together this fall, which I'm absolutely fine with. I believe he's taking Intro to Deafness with me. He may be taking the ASL class. I don't remember. We're taking one of the classes together. He is planning on at least adding some sign language to his repertoire. And one of the things he's talking about doing is actually music therapy. And especially working with young adults or kids who have learning disabilities or sensory issues, which both my kids have. So he thought, learning some sign might be really helpful because we used to sign with the kids when they were really little because both my kids had hearing losses. So, we did the whole, more, all done, that kind of thing, to alleviate a lot of the frustration that obviously me as mom not knowing what they need and them as little people not being able to tell us what they need. So yeah, so that's kind of it's exciting. Bina started to pack up her stuff and figure out what she needs for the dorms. She's excited to get back. I'm gonna be kind of bummed again. It's kind of like when she initially went off to school as a freshman, and that sort of, my baby's leaving the empty, like my nest feels a little bit more empty. And again, her school is less than an hour away. Honest to God, it's less than an hour drive. But I'm so used to having her here now again. So she's going to the dorm. She's, and I do think it's good for her. She's very introverted, and living in the dorms sort of forces her to have to interact with people. So yeah. So we found her 2 years ago. Walmart had like the silverware and stuff that's almost like rainbow when you move it. Well, they had cups there. Now, 2 years ago, they didn't have the cups. They had the silverware. We got her the silverware. She thought that would be awesome considering her majors. I agreed. I thought it was awesome. So I got her cups today, which was very exciting. But yeah, my sidekicks are kind of, it'll be interesting. It's going to be an interesting semester. My nerves are still kind of on high gear. But I'm excited. I have I have my notebook. I have my glitter pencils. I ordered the pens that I really, really like. I splurged on myself. I spent about 2 boxes of pens off of Amazon. I like the Bic Accountant Fine Tip pens, which they don't make anymore. So that pen has a 0.7 millimeter tip, I think. So I found some big pens that are, supposed to be similar, and I ordered them. Freaking, let's just say I paid over $1 a pen. It's crazy. But I figure, okay, I don't. Usually I wait till like they're putting all the back to school pens on sale. And I stock up for the office for like a year. I buy like that kind of stuff. And that's what I've done since day one, because to me it just makes sense. Um, so I probably will still do that because my office still needs pens. I have whiteout. I bought whiteout. I bought highlighters. I did find my kazoo. Not My son still doesn't know how to play it, which makes me still absolutely hysterically happy. Which is probably kind of mean, and I don't mean it to be mean, but I think it's funny that the music major has no clue, like cannot figure out the kazoo. Can play French horn, which is supposed to be one of the hardest instruments, but can't blow a kazoo. So yeah, so like I'm getting things together, and sort of I managed to order some of my books. They're ebooks through the school, but they haven't sent me the little codes for them. My nutrition book, I still can't order it. Like, it's finally showing that what book it is. And it gives you a choice of 2 books. You only have to buy one or the other. And there's about a $25 difference in price, but I have no idea because I can't see the books what that difference is. Like, is it a study guide with the more expensive one? Is it flashcards? Like, what is it that makes it more expensive? So that's a little frustrating. And again, still nobody's answering the phone at the college in the bookstore. So yeah, so we've got everybody kind of settled in. It looks like next summer both kids are planning on taking classes here at the community college. It makes so much more financial sense, because if they take like even one class each during summer, or 2 class, it's like $300 for a 3-credit class at the community college, where I'm spending way more than that at their school. So, yeah. And then hopefully, because we'll know I'll be going to school, like, I got in too late. Like, I made my decision to go back too late. So, like, really the only thing offered for me for financial aid is student loans. I don't want student loans, because we know next year, like, as the enrollment that I'll already be going, I will likely be eligible for more in scholarships. Most scholarships are already divvied out for the fall by now. So it's all good. Again, it's paid. I'm paid. I probably will have to, I think I still have to pay for William's class. I have that in my savings until his financial aid comes back, and then he'll pay that back. So, because, yeah, that's our deal. So now that we're, 15-20 minutes in and we haven't seen a bit of stitching yet, welcome. It's been one of those days. It was a kind of a crazy day. Oh, that was the other thing I had to sort out on Friday. Friday was a crazy day. Wayne County's filing room is 3 to 4 months behind in processing things. Normally, they're not that far behind. However, because you can't go and stand in line and file things, you have to, like... So my paperwork that was time sensitive didn't get filed, like, processed in time. So my case for my client got dismissed through no fault of my own. There was no way I could have known that. I did what I had to do. So I had to file a motion with the judge to reinstate the case, which it absolutely is. It's not a big deal. We are going next month, the first week of the month, to finalize his divorce. Not a big deal. I've got everything else nailed down. I just need to sit and literally type it out and have both parties sign. So knock on wood, because we all know that that is the curse of death when it comes to law cases, when you think that, because what will happen is invariably something will happen and the whole settlement will blow up. So knock on wood. My plan is to have that signed this week by both parties. And then I'll fax it over directly to the judge, so the judge has it and is ready to go. let's see what else. Wayne County is now saying that they're going to hold 2 trials per week. For those of you who don't know, Wayne County is Detroit. Detroit is the hub, like the center of Wayne County. No, it's bigger than just Detroit. But it's a busy ass court. 2 trials a week. That's in person. Now they may do a trial by Zoom, but if you want an in-person jury with jury trial, it's 2 per week. And it's my understanding that that means for the whole building, which means criminal, probate, which is also conservatorships and guardianships, adoptions, termination of parental rights are all in that building, family court, civil matters, essentially everything in Wayne County that is handled above a traffic ticket or a minor misdemeanor kind of thing. If it's not handled like at a city level, yeah. So we'll see how well that goes because yeah. I'm up in Clare County, which is up near Mount Pleasant. So I'm only in Michigan. Can you hold your hand up and direct? So I live like down here by Detroit, right? I have a case up here in Clare later this week. That's the one about the beaver dam. Apparently, we have confirmed the beaver is now dead. One of the parties in the litigation shot the beaver and destroyed his dam, which affects lake levels. So that's been fun. Let's see, what else have I done? I actually okay, so there's a Michigan Stitchers group, Michigan Cross Stitchers United, I want to say. They have some stitchy meetups, and so my friend Emily is local to me, and she stitches, but ironically we've never stitched together. Like, we've shared patterns and pattern books and stuff, but we never get together and just stitch, which is funny. So most of my stitchy friends are through hang on, the dog is eating pizza off the stove. Lady, what are you doing? Could we get some manners? Could you get some manners? At least she shared with the little dog. She's at least that polite. So most of my stitchy friends will do like Zoom calls and stuff like that. Or we'll just like talk through Instagram and stuff. I don't really have anybody local. So I went Sunday and met some of the ladies in the group. They are all female and identify as such. That brat. Lizzie, you're being a bad girl. What is up with that? You're not a bad girl. You're a good girl. Why are you misbehaving? Again, crazy rescue dog. I will say that Lizzie's my 100-pound King Corso rescue. So she's a big girl, and she's 100 pounds pure muscle. There's not an inch of fat on this girl. I found her one day sitting on my stove eating pizza. So at least we don't get back up on the stove. We just put our big old front paws on there and eat. She's tall enough to do that. Lord have mercy. So yeah, so I got to meet some of the girls, or some of the ladies there, and we stitched. It was actually really neat. They get together once a month on a Sunday. So we've already set September's. So I think I'm going to keep going. It was fun. It was nice to kind of get out of my comfort zone. Like, as for as much as I do, like, between going to the gym, being a lawyer, all of that triathlon, I'm actually very much an introvert. And I have no problem being home and just sitting around and cross stitching or riding my bike on my trader stand or watching movies. Like, it really doesn't bother me. Like, I love my friends. I love my times where I get to go have lunch or do whatever with my friends. But I need that time alone to sort of recharge, if that makes sense. So it was nice. It's 2 hours, so it's not like dauntingly long where I can't feel like I feel like I can't leave. So that's good. So we've got that going on. Bear Lake is coming up. I am totally not prepared. Not even gonna lie about it. Not prepared. I need to get my butt running more, or at least endurance walking, because it's a trail and some of the hills in Bear Lake are quite steep. And in fact, when you come out of where it's an ultra, it doesn't have a start and finish line really. We have an aid station and you have to cross the line by the aid station. So you come out of the aid station and it's a steep hill down. And when you get to the bottom of the hill, you make an immediate right and you go straight up another hill. So then after you finish going through the hills and all the trails and everything, you come back up that hill. Only to loop through, yell out your number so they can record your loop, and back down the hill. Have I told you guys I don't like hills? Yeah. And again, it's trail. So, but they do a really nice job at, like, Robert will be out there grooming the trail, so it's not like you're not wading through knee-high weeds. He does a pretty good job, and especially knowing that there's a couple of us who are vision impaired that run it. Or walk it. He does that. So that's coming up in a month, but we've got plenty of time before that to talk about that. That's really the big things that have been going on outside of Cross Stitch World. So Cross Stitch World, I have a couple things for haul. One I think is really cool. Let's see. I bought the Halloween Just Cross Stitch magazine. There's a lot of I probably want to stitch like half of the things in here. Like, hello, that frog with his eyeballs, the zombie frog. Actually, I want to stitch, I think I actually want to stitch all these little monsters. I don't have a Halloween tree, but I can put them on my ficus at work. So I got that. Really excited about that. And then somebody on Instagram, and I apologize, I don't remember who. Not a clue. This Common Threaded Stitcher is a blast. I'm loving watching everybody's stuff, but it is seriously like enabling. So somebody is doing the Halloween Village Afghan. By Stoney Creek, so of course I rushed out and got it. Because why wouldn't I? I mean, let's see. Here's a better picture. Although it's got the numbers of pages, the page numbers on it. So they had this part. And you guys know me. I don't check stitch counts or anything beforehand because I don't. I didn't realize how big it was. I thought it was like Halloween Quaker that everybody's doing. I figured it was like that size because she didn't say it was an Afghan. It's an Afghan size. It clearly won't be done by this October for Halloween. Won't be. Not even going to start it probably until after that. Yeah. So then I'm wondering, so, you know, my dumb brain, we all know me. I'm wondering, is there a Christmas for, like, fun Christmas Afghan? I don't know that. Here's my problem with this being an Afghan. I think it's gorgeous. I love it. I do want to stitch it. But the other side of the Afghan, wouldn't it be all the, like, the back of your stitching? Okay. Some of you have really nice backs to your cross stitching, and I have a fondness for that, and I certainly appreciate it. I am not your people. My backs are a hot mess, just like me. So the back of this, if it's all uncovered because it's an Afghan, it's going to be a hot mess. That's not fun. That's not pretty. So I've got to, I don't know what I'm going to do now. So that's why I'm torn. I don't know. But it's glorious. It's just glorious. Such goodness. And then another person on, again, Common Threaded Stitcher was showing a project. And because I can't leave well enough alone, I go, really? Where's that pattern from? Oh, it's a Doreen Jones. Oh, I like her. She's got a lot of cute stuff. Let me go to her Etsy and look. Can't find it. Go back to the person on Instagram. I looked at her shop. I can't find it. Could you give me a little bit more leeway? And in the meantime, I also messaged Doreen Jones on Etsy going, look, this is the picture that I saw. I don't see it in your shop. Can you help me, please? Well, the person on Instagram came back and said, oh yes, it's from the World of Cross Stitch magazine, the World of Cross Stitching magazine, like 2018, I believe, the December 2018. Yes. So I searched that because I was like, okay, Doreen Jones, I love her stuff. It's so cute. But she's not gonna answer me back. Like, really? Like, or she's gonna tell me she doesn't have it or whatever. So I ordered it off of somebody who happened to be selling it on Etsy, the magazine. I was like, perfect. Well, then Doreen Jones comes back and says, oh yeah, it hadn't been listed, but I put it out there for you. Here's the link. So I had to buy it, even though I had the magazine coming, because it felt like an ass if I didn't. So I bought it. So, needless to say, I have December 18th, the World of Cross Stitch, but I also have an actual copy coming of the, no, it was an instant download of this sweet little thing here. It's a nativity set, and they're little 3D stand-up, like, well, they're supposed to be finger puppets, but the person on Instagram just made them like little stand-ups, not finger puppets, and that's what I'll make them little stand-ups. Because have I mentioned that I collect nativities? But again, I don't collect normal things. I collect bobblehead Jesus. I have a bobblehead nativity scene, and I think it is the best thing ever. I have a lot of them. I have like the little Tykes one and stuff. But look at how cute they are. So now, why did I think the 3 kings were supposed to be in there? Oh, they are. Here's 1 king. Well, okay, we have 1 king. But you could easily duplicate him 3 times and just change his colors because they all were different. But there's no animals. There's no animals. So I'm going to have to scour Doreen Jones' Facebook group and all the patterns she lists there. And maybe find me some cute little sheeps and camels and donkeys and cows. Because so I have not even looked through the rest of this magazine. There's, except for right now, I'm doing that. There are some other really cute little things in here. Oh, there's a really cute little, look at their little Christmas puddings. Alphabet. It's the whole alphabet in there, which is just too cute. Okay, so again, we're now 30 minutes in and haven't seen any cross stitching except for my magazines. Okay, so yeah, so now I have that pattern twice because. Okay, so here's the other thing. one of my goals this year is to read 100 books, and that includes audiobooks. You absolutely can read, like, audiobooks count as reading. Well, I'm now at like 55, 56 books in, thanks to audiobooks. But not long ago, this book was recommended. It was one of 2 books recommended to me regarding housework. This book is like 60 pages long, 56 pages long, 56 pages long. And you wouldn't think it'd be that big of a deal. Okay, if you are struggling with feeling overwhelmed by housework, pick this book up. On just about every single page was something that was like, oh my God, really? It was just one of those. My son has come out and all the dogs want to play. So, I highly recommend this book. If you follow me on Instagram, I also put the covers up on my Instagram. The other one that I read, actually I didn't read it. It was an audiobook. What is it? It's about the Disney characters. Now, I love Disney. We all know I love Disney. I've never been to Disney. I'm desperately wanting to go to Disney. It's on my bucket list. So somebody said, oh, have you read this series? Because I read The Kingdom Keepers, and I read the first book to the other one, the villain book series. Go check out my Instagram. I paired it with this book. The first in this series has to do with Aladdin and Jafar, and Jasmine. Y'all, I think I might be scarred forever from this book. It is basically adult, where Jafar and Jasmine are forming a relationship. A very adult, descriptive relationship. I don't know that I can read any more of that series. And I'm not a prude, but I sort of like the fact that my Disney characters stay wholesome. Because I was not expecting what I read. Actually, what the audiobook was saying. And I usually sit out in my living, like my kitchen, dining room sort of area. And sometimes my daughter's out on the couch. And it's not like my daughter's a kid anymore, but still, it was like, yeah. So read that series at your own discretion. We'll just say that. Again, it's still counted as one of my books. I'm not sure if I'm going to read the rest of the series. It may be kind of funny. The other thing that I realized that on Libby, which is my library's audiobook checkout system or book checkout system, you can speed up the person reading. I didn't realize that, and I wasn't even reading at like normal speed. I was reading at 3/4 speed. So I was like, why are these books taking me friggin' forever? Like some of them. That would be why. So I speeded up my reading. Lizzie really wants pizza. Hang on a second. Keep talking amongst yourself. Stop. So I sped up my readers to, I think I'm now reading at 1.25 or 1.5. So things are a little bit more, they're not dragging so much anymore. Okay, so I have been, here's the other thing that I need help with. That's really not stitching related, excuse me. I bought this wonderful water bottle at Walmart. Because it holds a lot. And I figured I'd put my little hash marks to kind of remind me where to read. Well, I saw that it had the little spout, and I just thought you tip it up and you drink it, right? It needs a straw. I don't have the straw. And I went to Walmart today, and they don't sell, they're out of them because they were a summer thing. So where do I buy the replacement straws? How do I know which size I need? So now I'm kind of bummed. Because I figure if I have to sit in a 4-hour class, I'm going to need a lot of water to drink. Of course, then I'm going to need to pee a lot. So I don't know. Okay, so last week I actually did pull my sewing machine over, and I used Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch's vinyl front bag directions, which are really, really good. And I made my first bag. And I actually made 2, but the other one is sitting over there. The only thing is I am not used to doing the self binding. So I think next time I'm going to make my bind, like the little edge that you're going to fold over, I'm going to make mine a little bit bigger. That gave me a little bit of trouble. But had I not used white thread, and I would have maybe used the hot pink, like gotten that, you wouldn't be able to see. I don't think you'd really be able to notice my stitching. So then I promptly filled my bag, not with an Easter project. Oh no, because it is Easter fabric on the inside. No, I don't put an Easter project in there. I don't even think I have an Easter project going on right now. I don't think so. Instead, I put 99 by Ink Circles. Okay, you guys, I am telling you, I love this project. I think I'd mentioned it at one point to Michelle from Bendy Stitchy, and asked her if maybe she had ever done it, and she had, whoever I asked, and I am pretty sure it was Michelle, she said no, she didn't have the patience for all those like thread changes, and there are a lot because they're little, but at the same time, each little bottle is just over 100 stitches, I think, or right around. So you finish a bottle and it's like having a little finish. And the pattern actually will tell you what beer each bottle is supposed to be. I am loving stitching on this, and if you follow me on Instagram, I actually put, my goal is to do at least 1 bottle every day. And I post that little bottle and I tell everybody what it is on Instagram. And it's been so fun to see the reactions. Like people are like, oh yeah, duh. Like you kind of, like some of them you can kind of see like, that totally looks like that. I got into a rhythm the other day, yesterday, and put in a couple like I think 4 or 5 bottles. Weekends I generally do more than 1, but I always try to do at least 1. And so if you remember last week, I think I had the first row done and that was it. But is that not so cute? I mean, how adorable. And then Clay from Stitch Life found me a place actually near him, which would make sense, he's in Tennessee, that sells the slats from beer barrels and the metal ring. So I messaged the guy and I asked him, hey, what would it cost me to have X, Y, and Z shipped to Michigan? And are you willing to do that? Because he may not even be willing to do that. So it wouldn't matter what it costs. Because what I'm thinking is, like, actually a couple of people brought up the idea when I asked for finishing ideas, was to put it on something that looks like the oak beer barrels. And I love that idea. Love it. So if I can get actual beer barrels, there's a tongue twister. That may be what it is. I am already planning on stitching this at least one more time for my house, to like hang in my kitchen. And another friend has already said He saw it and he goes, "That's for me, right?" I went, "No, because it's not." And so he still thinks it's for him. It's not. It's not. Um, so that has, because I've been so busy doing other things like working and whatnot, that has really been my only stitching that I've done until tonight. And today I picked up, somebody came on and was looking for somebody to cross stitch something for her daughter. They had bought the pattern, or the kit, and I forget where it's from. Um, but the child, her daughter's like 14 or something, was way overwhelmed by it. Well, yeah, I can totally see that. It's 226 wide by 161 high, and it's full coverage. Absolutely. If that was your first stitch and you're 14, I would totally, I would have been surprised had she not been overwhelmed, because apparently mom doesn't cross stitch or anything. So she's paying me to do it for them. Um, I have said likely by Christmas, um, ideally by Thanksgiving, but definitely. And after working on it today for a little while, it should happen before I should be able to do it by Thanksgiving. My only concern is with starting classes that I may not get as much done like during the week, because I have 3 nights a week in class. But it's Pikachu in a landscape picture, and it's one of those that's printed on the fabric. Now, when I was a kid and you buy cross stitch that was stamped like that, and in fact I have one in my bucket of patterns and stuff. I may have more than one of them. Don't judge me. Um, the lines were always like funky, and you kind of had to get, like, there was a lot of guesswork, and for it was not enjoyable. I will tell you right now, these are stamped exactly on the square. It is. There's no like, is it this one? Is it that one? I don't know. Um, so I started that at, well, I started a couple hours ago, but then I made lunch. But I've already got this big chunk done. I've got in over 500 stitches. We're almost 500. We're almost pushing 500 stitches. But it's Pikachu. My daughter recognized it. I held up this grid actually, and I go, "Can you tell what it is?" And she goes, "Well, there's Pikachu in there, but I don't know who else. Like, what else is going on?" So at least it's recognizable. Um, so yeah. But again, it's like literally. And then the chart graph, like what the colors are over here. And it tells you, okay, it's this number on the little floss buddy. Is that what they're called? Like the little floss card. Or it's the DMC color, whatever. And the edges are all surged on it. I am pleasantly surprised by this, honestly. And she didn't even pay $20 for it. It's pretty, because it came with all the floss and it's all DMC floss. So yeah, so we're gonna work on that. We keep working on it. It is kind of nice because I don't have to count anything. So it is actually going a little bit further faster than I thought it would, which is very nice. So yeah, so those really and truly are the only stitching I have done. Still in physical therapy for my back. I see the pain management doctor Wednesday, because I'm in court on Thursday. I think that's how it's all flowing. Yes, I think that's how we're going. Otherwise, my water bottles taste funny. My water tastes funny. It's not good. Oh, that's the other thing. If you, I'm hoping a lot of people are Target shoppers. In the dollar spot, they have Disney character ducks, and they're also supposed to have superheroes. Somewhere I have Elsa. I got Elsa too. These are the only ones I can find so far at my house. With Elsa. I have Elsa. But I don't know. Well, I had her. She was on top of my sewing machine. If you happen to find some of the others and have to pick them up, I will PayPal you the money. They're in the little dollar spot at the front of the Target. Jeep owners are putting ducks on other people's Jeeps as just a way to add a smile. But when Beam was a first year in the dorms, I had all of my friends sending her rubber ducks. Now last year we didn't do it because she was here at home. But the plan is, as soon as I have her address in the dorms, is to start sending rubber ducks to her. Because they're fun and they're small. And who doesn't smile when you see a rubber duck? And so yeah. And it makes her have to interact with the mail, like the people at the front desk with the mail. Because they always cut, like, I usually put them in a little box so it gets registered as a package. And Amazon will actually ship to her dorm. So I can get them, like sometimes I'll send them just from Amazon and track them, and it's funny. But she has to go and she has to ask for them and check, like visually check in with somebody sort of thing at the front desk. It's the mom in me that's nervous that my baby is like, so I'm looking for the other ducks. There's supposed to even be a Wonder Woman duck floating around it at the Disney or at the Target spot, dollar spot. I'm gonna keep looking. That was the first time I've checked a couple of, that was the first time I found them. And I found the 4 and I grabbed them because yeah. So, okay. So as far as plans for the next week, well, I'm gonna be doing a beer bottle a day. I have to do my beer bottle still today, I think. I'm working on Pikachu. And who knows what else? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking of, since I have to go to the office for court, because I have to meet my clients there, they don't have access, like, we're going to Zoom from my office with the court up north. I will probably stop at the gym on my way back home, because my goal is to maybe put my body into my swimsuit. I gotta try on my swimsuit still, but try on my swimsuit, and if it works, if not, I'll just grab a tri-suit that I know still fits. Is to go swimming this week. I charged up my Garmin, and yeah, I think the water would really help my back. So yeah. Otherwise, we're just gonna keep going. Gotta get out there and run. Endurance walking is a thing. So, oh, the other thing is Paralympics start later this month. They start on the 24th or 25th. I actually, like I said, I have a couple friends who are are racing. Like, it's very exciting. Coverage is going to be kind of weird because they don't cover the Paralympics like they do the other Olympics. At Stitch Life, we're going to throw together something, not throw it together, but we've already been kicking around an idea of like maybe doing 500 stitches every time your country that you're following wins a gold, and going from there. And you can pick whatever you want to work on. So that's kind of cool. Clay just released the pattern that is going to, the proceeds are going to Youth Out or Out Youth. It's an organization that for quite some time, I want to say more than 20 years now, has been supporting LGBTQ plus kids, and I think that's a wonderful thing. The pattern, I helped him, I like tweaked a couple things, we worked together and bounced ideas off of each other. The final pattern is honestly, it's Clay's. And I love it. I absolutely love it. He stitched it on like a mottled brown, reddish, like ruddy color. Is that like a ruddy brownish red? It looks like in the pictures with white silky. Stunning, stunning. It's a Quaker. Um, it's got a Harvey Harvey Milk quote, and I'm blanking on what it is, but um, fantastic. It's absolutely gorgeous. Go check that one out. Stitch it with me. Um, but yeah, so hardly any stitching. We still wait. Still spent almost an hour with me. I'm sorry. Um, I hope everybody else is doing great. I hope everybody's having fun, staying safe and healthy. Oh, I got my first COVID vaccine. My team finally said, you know what, we've got to just kind of risk me having any really bad reactions to it as far as like my allergies and stuff. Because of all the variants that have come out, it's like, okay, if we were just fighting one thing and we could kind of like rely on it. So I went and got my first shot. Had a little bit of a reaction, not too bad. So yeah, so I go back, I think on the 27th for my second shot. And I scheduled that so that I have still 5 days, 4 days before classes, before my first class, but that it's after Taryn's wedding that I'm supposed to do. I'm very excited. I still have to write what I'm going to say. I think it's hysterical. The divorce lawyer is going to do their wedding. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun. I cannot wait. All her little touches she's doing a lot of it on her own. They're gorgeous. They're absolutely stunning. So I cannot wait. I have not figured out what I'm going to wear. She's fine if I showed up in a dinosaur, like one of those balloon air, like inflatable dinosaur costumes. She'd laugh. So her mother probably wouldn't, but that's okay. So who knows what I'll wear? It'll be a surprise for all of us. So with that, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna get back to stitching. I gotta go ride my bike and have some fun. Bye everybody. See you next week. If I can get to turn off.